Hello everybody, this is Anthony with Pro Dealer Secrets, and today I'm going to show you some of the most useful tools to have when flipping a vehicle. In the overall process of doing this, either part-time or full-time, I'm going to show you some of the most useful things that you can have other than the obvious, which would include, wrenches, tools, physical tools, stuff like that, shop vac, whatnot. These are things that have been really helpful for me and saved me a lot of headache, or would have saved a lot of headaches. The first thing I think is pretty obvious. That is an OBDII scanner. It may sound obvious to some people and maybe not to other people. Well, we probably have some people that have never flipped a car at all or have not done it very well before. Specifically, you need an OBDII reader that will tell you what the code is. Now, what I mean by that, it will only tell you the code number. You see here, P0301. But it won't give you a description. So, this one, it tells you what the code means. So while you're going out to look at vehicles, this will tell you exactly what the code is without having to Google it or guess. Or you might even be tempted to think to yourself, oh, that's no big deal. It's just one code. And it might be the worst code it can have. Keeping that in mind, I actually have two OBDII readers. I have this one. It's kind of big and bulky, but then I also have this one. Actually, I have like two or three. So this one is a smaller, more portable. It looks bigger in the picture, but it's about half the size. Let me see if I can find my favorite one here. There it is. Yep. So I also have this one. This one is palm sized, yet it still tells you all the codes, and it's only $20. I think I paid $50 for mine. Make sure that the one you do buy, it will tell you what the code is. You do not want a code reader that simply gives you the code number with no description, because there's a lot of cars, especially newer ones, that have timing codes, camshaft position codes, transmission codes, and even one of those could be a $3,000 mistake on the high end. So get you an OBDII 2 code reader. It's well worth the money. $60, that's a great one, especially for those of you in states that have emissions and whatnot. It's going to help a lot. Number 2 is going to be, and we talk about this one a lot, a mini buffer polisher / sander. Now this one is what we use. I've got a few videos about it. That's a shitty picture. Okay, here we go. And they come with the battery. You can buy a kit a lot of times on eBay or used. These allow you to buff your headlights and take them from hazy and yellowy to clear and shiny. And that's one of the biggest difference makers in selling a car, I believe, especially older cars where most people don't keep their headlights clean. It's going to look like a brand new car compared to another one. So definitely going to want those. That's a great tool to have. Plus, they make little drills and impacts in the same shape and use the same battery, so you can really get a whole little set of tools. Like right here, there's your impact, uses the same battery. There's a little 1/4-inch ratchet, 3/8 inch ratchet. But yeah, really handy, and you can get small scratches out with this thing too. All right, next thing is going to be on the same pattern as this. All these buffing pads, $10, $17. They're very handy to have. Now, the third thing, which I believe is very important, is a way of keeping track of your numbers, your trends, your profits. You can see, we keep track of every number related to a vehicle from the day we bought it to the day we sold it, the price, how much added expenses did we, what's the commission. We keep track of, the days on market. That's what this is. How many days it took from buying it to selling it. The average year that we sell is a 2006 vehicle. So most of our cars are between 10 and 15 years old that we sell. We've been averaging 900 to 1,000 a car. So when it comes to today versus back then, I didn't really know that I should be tracking every number and every aspect of every deal. And it would have helped me improve a lot more because I would have spotted trends a lot quicker. Now that we know that our average cost for every car is $3,000, our average sales price is $4,000, our average year is 2006, and this is across the board. I mean, this is consistent every single month for the last year and a half, 2 years. So knowing this, when I go to auction, I look for every car between 05 and 10 that I can bid between 2 and 3,000 that we can sell for 3 to 4,000. And I do that 3 days a week over and over and over and over, and we sell 50 to 60 cars a month. And I just repeat the process and repeat the formula every single day. And that leads to consistent, profitable results every single month. So part of the key in this channel and my course that you're going to see is that I will teach you consistency and systemized processes that give you the same result every single time. No matter whether you're selling a $10,000 car or a $3,000 or a $7,000 car, you need to find a niche and something that you can repeat over and over and over and never be guessing on how much you're going to have to pay and how much you're going to sell your car for. Because one of the biggest things in car flipping is not really knowing what your numbers are. Most people don't. They see a car, they think to themselves, oh, that seems like a good price. I think I can make money. Or what's even worse is, oh, look, the retail value is this. I can buy it for $2,000 less than retail value, and that's a great deal. And that's not true. And I'm going to show you why, because the last tool that we use, this is called OBDII, and it is a phone app that allows you to scan the barcodes on vehicles and see what they're worth. This is the number one thing that I would not want to get rid of, and I'll show you why. So it gives us, you've heard of Blue Book value. You've heard of Kelly Blue Book value, NADA, all this stuff. We don't use a single one of those whatsoever, and they have no bearing on our business. But I'll show you what does, and it's called Black Book. So what is Black Book? It is a valuation system based on real market numbers that are averaged out and accumulated for different regions in America. And these numbers come from auction values, real retail sales. If you sell more than, let's say, 3 to 5 cars a month, and especially if you sell cars that are over like 4,000 or 5,000, this is going to be a very valuable tool. And it costs $50 a month for the base. We pay $100 a month because of the Carfax integration, but you can get Black Book alone for $50, and it's very, very useful. And I'll show you what these numbers mean. So let's take a common vehicle that probably a lot of you guys are familiar with, or a good portion of people. Let's see, Chevy Traverse. We bought this one, 2011 Chevy Traverse, 173,000 miles, 2-wheel drive, loaded, leather, 3rd row. Very nice, very clean, brand new tires. And I'm going to show you what we're looking at here. When I look at these numbers, it shows you retail numbers and whatnot. You can click on this and see trade-in numbers. And one cool thing about these trade-in numbers, this is what new car dealerships use. Even CarMax uses these numbers because these numbers tell them what they will get at the auction. And they use this to give customers their trade-in quotes. So a lot of times you can get a good idea of what somebody got on their trade-in for a car that you see at the auction based on these numbers. And I would easily guess that for this Traverse, they got between $5,000 to $6,000 in trade-in value. And the wholesale value here, this is what the new car dealership can expect to sell this for at the auction. So they expect to get between 46 to 62, most likely between 56 to 62 if it's really nice. But if I was bidding on a vehicle, I would look at all these numbers and get an idea of what it's going to sell for. Now, the number that I use to know what I can sell the car for easily is this finance and loan value number. This is one of the biggest secrets that nobody knows. Most dealers don't know this, in my competitor, in my price range under 10,000. Most dealers don't know this. They go out there and they put this car for 7,500 because that's your average retail, your clean retail. They're thinking, oh, this is easily worth $79.98. So these idiots go and bid 5,000 to 6,000 on this car because that's what the clean trade-in is. That's what they think they should pay, and that's not the case. This number here is what I call an ACV value, and I've tracked this across the board on multiple cars. We always get close to this number on what we sell them for. Whether we start at 75, we will wind up getting close to 6,000. And it's just how it works. I mean, these are numbers that are taken from thousands, if not millions of deals that are aggregated together. So what this tells me is I will get $5,800 out of this car. And we paid $4,600 for it after everything. So I know that I'm good. Now, we actually have it listed for $6,500 because Traverses are a very in-demand vehicle around here. So I start out at 65, which is right in between these two numbers. I never price a car for more than this average retail. It's usually closer to rough retail because you can see that this number, ACV value, is close to the rough retail. So it's not very high in demand. Now let's say if it had 120,000 miles, I bet that would change a lot. 8,500 is what I would expect to sell it for, not 10. Anyway, those are my top tools to have for a car flipper. And these are things that I would definitely not want to go without. And especially if I would have had these tools starting out, it would have been a huge help. There were plenty of times where I thought an engine light was just an engine light. It turned out to be a major issue. And the last thing I wouldn't want to do without, and I don't have much of, is patience. This sounds corny, but patience is something that you're really going to need because you'll start to think that it's not working. And it's all about learning. Nobody's ever successful at anything fast. And if they are, it's not going to last. So if you can just have patience, and sure, if you lose $200 on a car, it might seem like the end of the world. If you lose 1,000, it might seem like the end of the world. But ultimately, it's still cheaper than college, and it's a valuable learning lesson. Make sure that you learn from every loss to prevent future losses. And, I can say that because if you're learning money, actually doing it, it's cheaper than going to college and not doing it. And I can say that because I have a bachelor's degree in finance, and my degree is not useful in my life whatsoever. So I could have spent way more time learning stuff like this, flipping cars, business skills, and fundamentals than what I learned in class. So patience. Keep learning, be steady. You don't have to buy that car that you're looking at. Just be patient and do the process and learn and get better. And sure enough, within a year, 2 or 3, you'll be making money easy with a process that you trust. So once again, guys, this is Anthony with Pro Dealer Secrets, and I'll see you on the next one.